Hi, this is Rainbow Harmony here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And welcome back to my channel. In today's pick a card reading, we're going to be looking into ways to fall back in love with your life. So we have a changing of the seasons going on right now, you guys. We're in the middle of beautiful spring. The spring equinox has passed. And next week, we actually have our annual eclipses coming up. Eclipse season is upon us. And so we just have a lot going on right now. Sometimes it's easy to lose touch with our love for life and with just enjoying our bliss. And like you guys might have learned in my Manifest With Me series that we recently did, it's so important to make sure that you're just making time for yourself to enjoy your life, because this will help you with manifestation. It will definitely raise your frequency and raise your vibration and help you to manifest things. But also, you're worthy to enjoy your life. You deserve to have fun and to enjoy yourself and to just love your life. But it can be easy sometimes to get stuck down in like bad habits and just kind of feeling complacent or maybe not living our life to our fullest. So I thought what we would do today is we would cover this spread that I made. So go ahead and take a screenshot if you'd like to pull some cards along with me. And then we're going to be seeing what can you specifically do to help make your life more fun or interesting, to fall back in love with it. So advice tailored specifically to you. So I want you to go ahead and just relax, take some deep breaths, and then you're going to choose a card or a crystal that you feel drawn to the most. So, and this is from left to right. Number 1, number 2, or number 3. Once you've chosen, head down below to the comments or to the description where the timestamps are posted, and you can just click on your timestamp and instantly be fast forwarded to your part in the reading. Don't forget to support the channel by liking and subscribing and ringing that notification bell. And I'm also available for personal readings. If you'd like to hang out and pull some cards with me, or you would just like a video reading, you can find out more about that on my website. And the information for that is below too. So I will see you for your personal reading soon. For those of you guys who choose number 1, we're going to get started with this spread. And the first part of the spread is what brings you joy. So ways to fall back in love with life. What brings you joy? And we're getting the Ace of Wands. Okay, so instantly I do get the feeling that for those of you guys who choose number 1, we're going to get started with the first part of the spread. And this is what brings you joy. So what in your life or in life in general brings you joy? Ways to fall back in love with life. What brings you joy? And we're getting the Ace of Wands. Immediately with this one, I get the impression that you're a person that does not like to sit still. You do not like to be in one place for too long. You get very bored. You are an adventurous person. You might even be considered a bit of a thrill seeker, and you want to be where the action is at. Some of you guys could be more introverts, so maybe where the action is at for you is like in nature or at like a coffee shop, with a good book and some headphones or more things like that. But then maybe we've got some of you guys that do have that fiery energy, that are very outgoing, that want to be where the people are, that want to be where the artists are, that want to be where the party is or where the life is or where the culture is. And so this Ace of Wands message is just a message that you find your joy in exploring, perhaps in traveling, being outdoors, being physical, like physically active. It could also be when you're out making waves in the community, because the Ace of Wands, like this Wands energy, like the King of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the Page of Wands, all of those archetypes in this suit, they're all like entrepreneurs, they're business people. They're out there making connections and pioneering and starting, startups, or really just creating their empire out in the world. And so maybe that's what gives you joy, is just being out in the world and creating a name for yourself and establishing yourself and working on really passionate projects and always having progress and change and growth and forward movement. So let's move on to the next part of the spread. So the next question is, where do you feel the most alive? Because if you're trying to fall back in love with life, you want to make sure that you go to the places that you feel the most alive. Sometimes if we just get cooped up inside, it can get a little depressing. That can be your happy place for sure. I get it. But where do you feel the most alive? It could have something to do with your environment, the people that are around you, the ambiance, the aesthetic. And we're going to pull a couple cards to see where you feel the most alive. Okay, so you really do feel most alive at home. Really, but there's some particulars here. Like, it's important for you that you feel safe and that you feel secure. And I get the impression that you are a really creative person. And since you're so outgoing and empowering, and you like to travel and you like to see new things and you like to be enterprising and you like connections with others, you like to be active or, physical, it might be that you feel the most alive when you're in a home or an environment or a place where you can live like that. So it might be that you're someone maybe who lives in the mountains, because you could have a nice home up there. Maybe you still have an ability to connect with others in your local community, or you're, really working on ideas, or you're very artistic, but you can go outside and you can be free and you can exercise. You could be someone who lives in the city too. I mean, I see that as well, because maybe you just need to have a really nice home sanctuary, nice things around you, things that you've collected, just comforts, but then you like that ability to be able to go and have the familiarity of your favorite restaurant or your corner cafe, and you've got these connections and friends and things that you're moving forward. So I am seeing that, you do feel the most alive when you're living in a place or in an environment where all of this is accessible for you. And so we also see that it's important, where you feel the most alive. You do feel very alive when you're in a relationship or in a connection or in a partnership, because since you have so many things you want to move forward in your life, you've got that fire energy. You want to make sure that you have someone by your side who's able to help, or who's able to encourage you, or maybe who is also doing their own thing, is inspiring you. Doesn't mean you can't be single and on your own, make things happen for yourself. Of course you can, but it might be that you're someone who does very well in relationships, as long as you're with the right person that you love and you've got these things around, it doesn't matter. It's home is where the heart is kind of energy. I love that. So the next part of the spread, ways to fall back in love with life. What hobbies and talents do you have a gift with, or are you really good at? Because sometimes we can shrink back from life and kind of fall out of love with it because we're not engaging in things that we love to do, and we're not growing, and we're not doing the things that make us happy every day. So if you don't make choices and do things that are making you happy in your daily life, then sometimes you fall out of love with life, So let's go ahead and pull some cards. I have a whole reading up on my website that's a talents and gifts reading, where we do a really in-depth version of this, but I'm going to just try my best and just see if we can get anything that's coming out. There's a lot of you guys who are watching right now, so that's why I made a spread, so you can pull your own cards, follow along. But there's something coming up about culinary arts. So this could be one of two things. Maybe you're somebody who's really into health and fitness. And so it could be that you have this gift with guiding others in that, maybe fitness influencing. It could even be body positive influencing, healthy lifestyle influencing. Maybe if it has something to do with health, maybe there's a little bit of stuff about food in there, or natural stuff, natural products, aesthetics. But you could also be someone who's really gifted with cooking. It could just be that cooking is your way to unwind, and you love to treat other people, and you love to put together little plates. And it could even be the preparing and the presenting of the table that you're interested in. It could just be baking. So we've got chef, baker, restaurant owner as possible career paths, even educating other people on food science, nutrition, diets, preparing, cooking, and presenting food. So there's something coming up about you having a gift with that. Okay, so if it's not the food thing, maybe it's more the influencing the lifestyle, the body positive stuff, the maybe fitness, the gym life, something like that. But we see that you have some gifts with that. So maybe taking a step in that direction could help you feel more of that love for life because you're doing things that you love. We got King of Wands reversed. I think that's really interesting for a talent. I'm trying to think, how would I interpret that as a talent? But I would say that things do tend to come to you easily. When I see it next to the Two of Pentacles, I think, things in life, opportunities come to you easily. You learn things really fast. And especially because we had that Wands energy earlier, things moving forward really fast for you. You're always out there taking action. That's where you find your joy in life. It makes me think that if you do work on this gift over here, you're going to see some opportunities. That it could be like a little hint, like, hey, take this step, or this could be a good direction for you. There could be prosperity in some form. It could be financial. But this is a message too about balance and renewal here. So let's see if there's any more talents and gifts. I would say to just pull a card for yourself on this one. This is what I'm getting. Maybe there's a couple people who need to hear this in particular. But yeah, it's time to move forward. So let's see if there's anything that you can do now to fall back in love with life. We're going to just ask for a specific message that will resonate with you. What can you do? Overall advice for you, falling back in love with life. Sometimes you just got to sit in the energy where you're at and just let it be. But if you're ready to make that change, and let's see if there's any more advice for you. Helpful, consistency, capable. That's interesting. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Consistency is really helpful. If you're trying to grow something like a business or a new habit or a new routine, or you're trying to manifest something, or you're working on your health, then consistency is so important. Sometimes it's just the little things we do every day that add up to make the bigger difference over time. It's more about growing the momentum and keeping it part of your life and keeping it close and making it like a habit or a ritual that's going to expand over time. You'll see the biggest difference. And so your guides are saying, be helpful. This might even be with some of those talents and gifts we were just looking into. Could also be with what gives you joy, to make sure that you're keeping this part of your day. Also, your guides are saying something about how maybe right now you feel like you're missing a sense of purpose in your life. And they're saying that you could come on to something pretty soon. It might be a little bit surprising, but the timing is going to be just perfect. I personally believe that we all define what our purpose is in life. Some people believe that you come here with a mission and a purpose, and that's wonderful. But if you're still trying to figure that out, trust yourself. You get to give yourself a sense of purpose. Sometimes we only get one piece of the puzzle at a time as we're moving through life, and you just have to build with what you know. Start right now where you're at with the tools, materials, and supplies that are already available to you, and start building towards that dream, because that's what this message was all about for you today. Like, you find joy when you're building something, when you're growing, when you're creating your empire. So this is your message. Don't wait, before you know it all or you have everything perfect. Just make your vision, make your plan, start taking those first steps. They want you to get consistent. So that's your advice for today. I hope that this message resonates with you. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my website if you'd like to purchase your own reading or see anything else I offer. And I will see you next time. Peace out. For those of you guys who choose number 2, what brings you joy? That is the first part of the spread. We're looking into ways to fall back in love with life. So if you feel like you just kind of fallen out of love with life and you want to build more of a sense of love and joy in your life, it's going to be helpful to look into these things that bring you joy. Because if you can add more of this into your life, create more space for the things you love, you're definitely going to be feeling better and falling back in love with life more and more every day. So you're getting the 7 of Hearts or the 7 of Cups. So This makes me think that you are a dreamer. You are someone who needs time every day to be able to just be in your own space and in your mind and kind of zone out and have that quiet reflection. Now, this could be while you're moving your hands and you're doing something. So you could be someone who's really good at like crafting or building, some type of craftsmanship, sewing, any type of handiwork. It could even be drawing. Or you could just be someone who likes to have a beautiful view and just kind of stare out the window or watch the rain fall. Maybe you're into like interior design, home decoration, just creating that atmosphere so that you can have a nice cup of tea and just relax and just kind of zone off. And in that space, it might be that you're thinking about ideas for the future. Maybe sometimes you're thinking about the past. You might get caught sometimes in, like emotions and kind of in nostalgia, but the good side of this gift of yours or this energy of yours is that you're somebody who's really great with ideas. It's like you're a connoisseur of ideas, and you're never going to run out of new ways to romanticize your life or create something new. So this is very important to you. So I would say, add more. We're going to get to the advice at the end of the reading, but just right off the bat, I am going to just throw it in here that make time for yourself, make time to rest. You would be someone who'd do well to set up really comfy areas to rest in your house, like having a nice couch or, maybe putting a little table on the balcony, putting some plants around, just making maybe like a little reading nook. It'd be good for you to make little places and even maybe go places out in nature, go on picnics, things like that, where you can just rest and kind of zone out and, go to the beach, lay out. This kind of stuff is good for you. This brings you joy. So speaking of the beach, it's kind of funny. The next part of the spread is, where do you feel the most alive? Because it's important to go to the place you feel most alive. If you've fallen out of love with life, maybe you're not going to the places you used to go that brought you joy, or maybe you're not getting out enough or exploring. And it was funny because I guess spoiler alert for group number 1, for them, the place that brought them the most joy was actually at their home. So it's true that that place can bring you the most joy, but we're seeing, where do you feel the most alive? Go where you feel the most alive. Where do you feel the most alive? It's interesting. I actually see a lot of messages about how you're still kind of figuring that out. These messages here are telling a really specific story. I'm asking, where do you feel the most alive? And I think I see it. I'm starting to see it over here. And sometimes it's not always environment. But right now, I do get this sense that you've been a lot of places that you haven't felt the most alive. I've been places like that too. It happens, and that's a source of frustration for you. You definitely want to balance that by going out and exploring more. There is a side of you. I think I mentioned the beach and the ocean for a reason. I think there is a side of you that does find calm and peace by bodies of water, like the lake, the river, the ocean. But maybe some of you don't have the ability to get near that. I would suggest a pool, taking long showers, the bath. Water could be important for you. But I also see that you feel the most alive like in a garden. I see something about maybe with you a connection with gardens. This could also be like you have a very specific type of place that you really like. Like you could be one of those people who's just like, I really love Italy. I love the grapes. I love the countryside, Tuscany. That's the place I feel the most alive, So maybe you're one of those people who's just like, I have this one place I've always dreamed of going, or I go every summer and that's where I just feel the most alive. So it makes me think it's like a very specific place. If you could have a secret garden with your own little key to it, you totally would. Maybe for some of you guys too, where you feel the most alive is like a little garden, like in your own garden. Like it could be a public park or something kind of close to your home, a beach, maybe a spot you discovered that feels like it's just your spot. No one else goes there, or you go at times where there's not as many people and you hike to a secret spot. You're definitely like a secret spot person. That's definitely what I'm tapping into right here. You also feel the most alive when you're like nurturing and caring for other people. Like you definitely have a big heart. So you might feel the most alive when you're with your kids, when you're nurturing your children, your baby, or maybe when you're working with animals, when you're with loved ones. I see that. So interesting. So now we're going to look into what hobbies and like interests do you have a talent with. I have a whole like 45-minute reading up on my website. It's called My Talents and Gifts Reading, where we get really into this. But I'm just going to see what I can do, what we can pull for you today, just a couple minutes here. Because if you're not utilizing your talents and your gifts and you're not exploring interests, that's a way to get bored really fast, you know? So if it's been a long time since you've dabbled in a hobby or an interest or tried something new or worked on your gifts, then yeah, we definitely get depressed. That happens to me sometimes when I'm just busy. I'm not making time for those things. So we're just looking into like what hobbies, talents, interests do you have a gift with? And yeah, we're definitely seeing that you're a producer. That makes a lot of sense. Remember earlier we were seeing how you are very you're like a dreamer. You're always thinking of these ideas. Remember the connoisseur of ideas? Well, that's what a producer is. A producer is a project manager or like a director. It's somebody who dreams and schemes and plans and collaborates and oversees creative teams of people sometimes. Really strong leadership qualities. So sometimes people who have this gift can gravitate into roles of being a creative director, art director, or somebody who works in like web or software development. Somebody who does community development of any kind, sometimes working in the entertainment industry, publishing, editing, writing is definitely in here. But so it seems like you have this gift with these ideas. Incredible. And then we've also got that you're a visual artist. I mean, obviously, I got that vibe right away. So remember earlier we were talking about how maybe you like to kind of zone out and like scribble and draw, or maybe you're making things with your hands, or you're like a crafts person of some sort. And so we're seeing that, yeah, you have a gift with that. So if you haven't been making time for yourself to explore the arts or to explore visual arts, things that you're making, or you haven't come up with like an idea for a project and tried to pull some people or resources together to make it happen yet, just like a passion project or something, that would be important. That will help you to fall back in love with life. And your guides are saying you definitely have a lot of gifts. Maybe you were kind of busy kind of putting out fires for a while there, because this is a card of like a toxic environment or a toxic work situation, toxic family, or like a lot of drama with the people around you. And this is a message though that you kind of got away from that you're on the other side of that you've had a lot of healing, or you've kind of cleaned house, or it's a new era in your life. There's new people starting to come in. And this is also a sign of like a relationship. The Heron is a sign of patience. So they are telling you to be patient with yourself because your rebirth era has just started. But yeah, it's time to set some new intentions. This is like, I think the final part of this reading is advice. So we're just like advice for you in general. How can you fall back in love with life? And I think that's what we're just getting to here. They're talking about getting your thoughts collected, making a vision board, or maybe coming up with like a mood board for your project, getting the tools and the things that you need together so you can get back into your artwork. And this is the fox. It's kind of the trickster energy. You can see from his little smile here. So it might be kind of peculiar how you've gotten to where you're at in your life right now, but the overall message is that things are moving forward. Maybe this will help you lift your energy. Falling back in love with life is a really great way to manifest things. Yeah, we see a lot of healing around you, or that your artwork or your gifts bring you healing. So you're definitely being like encouraged in that direction. So I hope that this reading resonates with you. Share if you pulled cards for yourself through the spread. Let me know what you got below. I always love hearing like your updates from your life and everything. And I will see you next time. Don't forget to check out my website if you need me for anything. I've got some new things up on there. Check it out. And I'll see you later. Peace out. For those of you guys who choose number 3, we're going to get into this spread here. So ways to fall back in love with life. How to fall back in love with life. The first part of the spread is what brings you joy. So sometimes when we're shrinking back from the things that bring us joy in life, or we're not making time for those things, yeah, it can start to feel a little heavy. We might fall out of love with life. So maybe connecting with this will help. So we're getting the Queen of Pentacles. So the first thing I think about when I see the Queen of Pentacles is Material Girl. So Material Girl all the way, Material Girl vibes for sure. You are someone who does like to have nice things, and you have really great aesthetic taste, and you do love just, beautiful food, beautiful clothing, beautiful wine, beautiful scenery, beautiful surroundings. Like, you just are someone who knows how to beautify your life around you. This material girl or material person aspect of you is actually really endearing, though, and it's much deserved because you're a really sweet person and you're so kind and so empathetic. You have that Snow White energy where animals and children just flock to you. You are super nurturing, you're an empath, you're putting other people first a lot, and so having these nice things is like kind of like a little way that you treat yourself. You're also being so generous with others. I also see that you're a homemaker. You have homemaker energy. Doesn't mean that you just stay home and do nothing, but it might be that you prefer to work from home, or you have a partner or someone else who supports you, or you like to stay home with the kids. You do love, maybe real estate too, homes, the home industry, building. I do see, you love to create just a beautiful home and a beautiful space. This is very much like Taurus energy, Capricorn energy. Some of you guys are like, maybe so far you're like, that's not me, because you could be more Capricorn, earthy energy, hard worker, go, go, go kind of person. But the whole point with this energy is what brings you joy is giving to others, is nurturing, is being in that energy of abundance, is sharing with others, is giving, is being generous, is, being around beautiful things and just beautifying the world around you and having a nice community. And, it's just a beautiful Queen of Pentacles energy. So being in that energy is definitely going to help you bring more joy into your life. So for the next part of the spread, we're looking into where do you feel the most alive? Because if you stop going to the places where you feel the most alive, or you haven't really connected with that, sometimes we tend to just kind of hole up in our own little world or our own little place, and it can be a little depressing. We're meant to go out and connect with the earth and interact with this world. And so, maybe where is this for you? If there's an environment or anything that helps you feel the most alive. So you're somebody who maybe you do have somewhat of an ordered or structured life. I'm not sure, but I'm getting something interesting about how what makes you feel the most alive is just like not making any plans, throwing the plans out the window, just ditching the plans, and maybe driving somewhere. Maybe you're one of those people that would always like to spin the globe and just put your finger on it and go wherever it is. Or you might like to just like do spontaneous day trips, things like that. Or maybe just a whole day for yourself where there's nothing scheduled and you just get to kind of do what you want and follow your own whim. And so that's something that makes you feel very alive. It might not be a specific place. It's like almost like it doesn't matter where you are. It's just like the energy of like having nothing planned. You can do whatever you want. You have total freedom, total choice. If you just want to stay in all day, you can. If you want to go visit somewhere, you can. It just does. That's what it feels like to me. And it's also like justice, like peace, like nobody bothering you. And this is the Hierophant. It does make me think, Princess of Pentacles is a hard worker. We can't ignore the fact that it's like a Pentacles energy. Pentacles is money and wealth and everything connected to the earth and your security. And, so we're seeing the Hierophant here. Maybe you're someone who has studied really hard or who has worked really hard. And so you just love having those days where you can just rest and be free or be impulsive, do whatever you want, not have to worry. Yeah, and so that's cool. I love that. So you definitely have to make more time for yourself like that. More spontaneous plans, more me days, more days where you turn off the phone or you unplug and you just follow that whim. So next we're going to look into what hobbies and interests do you have a talent with, because if you are not engaging in the things that make you happy, like you're not growing those talents or those interests, or you're not exploring, life can get a little boring and dull. We can fall out of love with life. So how can you fall back in love with life? We're pulling cards on this. I do want to say that I have a 45-minute talents and gifts reading up on my website where we do a reading like this. It's very in-depth, but I'm just going to see what I can pull out here in a couple minutes. And we're getting that you do have a gift with the liberal arts and the literary arts. You're someone, a lot of times this reflects somebody who's a writer or someone who is like a teacher, somebody who's very good at logic, rhetoric, geometry, math, and or like writing. You could be somebody who's more on a traditional path, like a lawyer or a teacher, but sometimes I get this card too for people who are really good at like leading workshops, teaching, being in front of other people. Sometimes somebody who is a creative writer, someone who wants to be like a coach or be of service to others. So we're getting the well here, which also shows how creative you are. Maybe some of you guys who are watching resonate with this, and maybe some of the rest of you guys might resonate with the textile arts. Some of you guys could be really gifted with like clothing or footwear design, or you want to like flip clothes on Depop, or have like your own like vintage boutique, or be a designer or a stylist or something related to clothing industry, or I definitely see some of you guys who might be creating things that are maybe decorative. So yeah, you're definitely a very, very creative person. And so your guides are telling you to get involved with some of these gifts, find ways to move them forward. We do see that there have been a lot of conflicts, like maybe you got some of the materials, but then you got really busy with work, or maybe you've been, maybe you just got a new love interest in your life or something. So you're so focused on that, you haven't had a lot of time to yourself to like just kind of work on this thing. But your guides are telling you make time. You might even notice that some of these internal conflicts are starting to lessen as energy is starting to push you forward in this path. So let's pull a final message and ask, like, any final advice for you. How can you fall back in love with life? We saw some stuff about what brings you joy. We got some stuff about where you feel the most alive and your talents and hobbies. Is there anything else that you need to know? And I want to take this chance to say that sometimes, just letting yourself be in the energy that is. If you've fallen out of love with your life, sometimes you just need to surrender to that and let that kind of process and move through you. But if and when you're ready to fall back in love with life. Whoa. Well, your guides are saying that you have a fortune inside of you, that you're sitting on a gold mine. Inside, fortune, yes. Quick. It's like they're telling you that you're sitting on a gold mine, and maybe you've been looking for permission to move forward, to start that thing, to build that empire, to go on that path, because the Queen of Pentacles sometimes is a little enterprising. So your guides are saying, do it quick. Now is the time to plant those seeds. So that's some huge advice for you. Next, they're acknowledging that you've been doing some grieving. And I think a lot of us have. We went through a lot collectively and also astrologically in the past couple years. And the energy is getting better, but this could also be just something from your personal life. Maybe it means something particular to you. So they might be just telling you to go easy on yourself for how maybe you haven't been able to fall in love with life, or it's been harder lately. But they're also saying something about how like you need to listen to your true self, because there are financial opportunities. Listen to yourself. There's financial opportunities coming, and they're saying this is the beginning of something new. So your angels, your guides, the cards are definitely trying to communicate to you something new is beginning. It could be opportunity, could be financial. That's so exciting. So, hey, you got to let me know if you pulled cards along with me. What do you think about this reading? Like, did this spread work well for you? What did it turn out like? I always love hearing your stories. And don't forget to check out my website. I've got some new offers up there. Check it out, and thank you so much for coming to my channel. I will see you next time. Peace out.